Yesterday, how did you do?
I got second place. I lost by 4 feet.
And today?
I was 700 pounds light because I didn't really know the weight of the tractor, and that was the first time I ever pulled her. And today, well, let's talk about today. I put her in a 16,000 pound class. I put her in third gear. They were all 280, 290. One was 310, maybe 312.
And you were?
I put her right at 370 feet right in the sand pile. And the only mistake I made, I didn't put her right in the registration booth with the girl.
Hello, everybody. Jason Schultz here with the Beer Money Pulling Team. I am sitting in Steve Hoven's shop in Princeton, Texas, and I have a John Deere hat on, Mean Green Pulling. But Charles, the only reason I wore that is because he's giving me Bird Dog Peach Whiskey. So it's good stuff. Good stuff, guys. Let's Grow Pulling is brought to you by the Outlaw Truck and Tractor Pulling Association every Monday night, 8 p.m. Central Standard Time. Sometimes there's a bunch of us on here, and well, this week it's Charles. It's just down to the really important people, you, me, and Cody. So Charles Post joins us every Monday night. Charles, wave at everybody. Point down at Cody. Cody Vanderholm Media. Cody, point at Steve. Steve Dye is going to be our first guest tonight. We're going to talk to him about the Kentucky Invitational Truck and Tractor Pull a little bit. But being I'm sitting in Steve's shop in Princeton, Texas, and there's a John Deere sign behind me, I thought we let Steve talk a little bit. So, Steve, can you tell everybody kind of who you are and what you do in pulling? And then we are going to start Alter Ego.
So a little bit later, guys. I'm Steve Hoven. Got started when I was a kid up in Illinois, actually, garden tractor pulling. Moved down here as an adult. Started a family, and another couple guys from up north moved down and started a club here. And so we've just built on that over the years. I believe we started in 2001. I came along in 2007 and just kind of progressed and moved into from the garden tractor, the gas garden tractors up to the diesels. Pro stock diesel is what I enjoy the most. I've got 2 pro stock diesels. I've got one, what we call hot stock. gas tractor.
And that's Alter Ego.
That's Alter Ego.
Yeah. Charles is all excited. I posted a picture of that tractor earlier.
And so we mainly, the Pro Stocks pretty much just run up north. We do run down here locally, but more of an exhibition run. We really don't have a class for us down here. So I haven't been running 2020 and really 2019. We didn't run a whole lot. But once my kids get a little bit older and I've got one graduating, we'll move on and start traveling again is the intent.
And it's the Lone Star?
Lone Star Garden Tractor Pullers is who we are down here in Texas.
Now, do you guys have like Facebook presence?
We do.
Okay.
We've got LSGTPA is our Facebook page. And I've got a Mean Green Pulling page. Like I say, we're a little bit slow right now with COVID and getting everybody started again. And we did lose some members over the COVID thing. So, but just trying to get things rolling again. And I mean, that's what we do.
Well, thanks for welcoming me into your shop. And again, Mean Green Pulling. Check them out on Facebook. And we are going to start a tractor, guys, Charles, Cody, later. Okay, I promise.
Won't be a smoker.
It won't be a smoker, but we're still going to start something. So
that's good.
Have we ever started anything, Charles, on the show before?
I don't think we have, so that's going to be a first.
Yes, we're going to. I'm excited about that.
Good deal.
Make it count.
Hopefully it starts, Charles, he says. So, well, okay, so guys, it's the 27th of December, obviously, and we're a week and a half away, Steve, right, from your guys' big event in Lexington?
Yes.
And then the week after that, then is that Shipshawana? So it's going to go bang, bang, right? 2 right out of the gate?
Yes.
For indoor
I think so.
Okay.
I'm not sure about Shipshawana.
Before we get into
Shipshawana is going to be right after you guys at Lexington, and then it goes to Ocala, Florida for you guys at Light Limited Super, and then from there, I mean, if you got a Light Limited Super, you can hook all damn summer or all winter.
Well, Steve, for those of you that don't know who you are, or us who don't know who you are, please kind of tell us who you are, where you live. I got a couple pictures of the tractors I'll throw up on the screen for people. Why don't you start talking?
All right. Name's Steve Dye. I'm from Pulaski County, Kentucky. For a light limited super stock called the Fence Row Fugitive. It's a black 560. Bought the original rolling chassis out of Wisconsin. Brought it back to Kentucky and went through it and me and my brother and some help with some other friends, built a motor and stuff for it. It's got a DT 360, converted alcohol in it. Don't really know the horsepower. Never been to a dyno. Just pull a lot of Mid-South PPL, KTPA, TNT, and ball of bluegrass. I run Middle Tennessee some. 2017, I got lucky and won the points in the Middle Tennessee pulling championship. Wound up third in KTPA in 2018. I won the KTPA points and wound up third in Middle Tennessee. Of course, those 2 years was a lot of running and a lot of fixing stuff, late nights, just to try to stay in the points race and keep up in the top. So, I got a brother that's a heck of a mechanic. Now we're a 2-tractor team. We have Under the Influence tractor, which is old Willie Long tractor that Tim Fox bought off of him, and my brother bought it off of Tim. So we've got 2 light limited super stocks we run now.
I don't know if you remember this. I think you were standing there. The photos that Jason just put up, those were from White Pine, Tennessee, 2019, and yep. I think it was the second night. I was standing around. I want to say you were standing there with Larry Anderson, and he made the comment. And for those who don't know Larry, he's known as Roach. He said, "Boys, I'm gonna hit the sand pile tonight. It might even be wheelie bars first, but brother, we're going." That's just how Light Limited Super rolls down there. Like, you guys are all in together, and it's competitive as all get out. You guys are all tough, and but you have a sense of humor about it, doing what you do.
Oh yeah, that second night there, I think, is the night Greg Jones had that crash, wasn't it? And he got totaled his tractor and rolled it off, broke the front wheel off and everything. You remember that?
I do.
He didn't have no paint on it, but it crashed and he come down on the left front wheel. The front wheel come off and dug the wheel bars There's the skid bars in the ground and everything. Yeah, I mean, it's like me and my brother. We're brothers, we love each other, but when you drop that hook, we're out for blood. It don't matter if you're brother or friend or what, everybody's out for blood.
You guys run down there, you guys run on the light side. The Kentucky thing is to run 6,000 pounds. And, what is it about going light limited super down there that you stick to 6,000 and not 6,200?
I don't know really what it is. I've run 6,000 and 6,200. At 6,000, I think it's more how to set your tractor up and how to read the track and the right spot on the track and everything. But I mean, as far as the 6,000, 6,200, my tractor likes either one. If I can lose some weight, I'd be a lot better off at 6,000. But it's just, it's a different bear at 6,000 pounds than it is even at 6,200. I'll be the first to admit it is. And my tractor likes 6,200, but I don't know. It seems like I got more control at 6,000. I may not have, but just, I'm comfortable either way. It don't, you got to learn how to set the tractor up. And sometimes I'm not big on dropping that hitch, and it bites me in the rear end most of the time,
That's the thing. Yeah, it's learning how to set it up. So you got this big indoor deal going on at Lexington. What's that venue like? I've this is the 10th year now for the Kentucky Invitational, and you've been a part of it, I think, since the first year. What's it like being in that venue?
Oh, it's a good venue, man. It's good. The competition's tough. It first started, of course, it's like any other pool you go to. Indoor in the winter, it takes a while to build and get the crowd there and everything. But, you draw a lot of top-notch trucks and tractors in there from across several different states. I mean, these guys from Wisconsin been down there. David Bear's been here. Brian Miller's been here. Brian Miller's won it a couple times, I think. I mean, I've got to know him over the years. I've got to know David Bear. I got to know the Spiegelbergs, and I'm getting to know some guys from Ohio, man. I mean, you make friends everywhere you go, and I mean, it's just a great atmosphere. And like I said, the first several years, it was hard getting people in the seats, but I'm telling you, they didn't get to have it last year because of COVID, but the year before on Saturday night, it was a packed house. It was shoulder to shoulder. I think there was people standing at the top watching because there wasn't no seats open. And it's just getting bigger and bigger and bigger every year, and it's a lot of guys like me don't get to go to Louisville, somewhere like that. This is not Louisville. This Lexington, Chippewa, somewhere like that, Ocala, Florida. I went to Ocala, Florida last year, had a ball. First time I've ever been there, I will go back. And Murfreesboro, that's our Louisville pools. That's our indoor winter hooks. That, for us, the light limited super stocks, that's our Louisville. That's our yearly pool.
Now that venue, it's known as, it's part of the Kentucky Horse Park, which is, if you ever get to go, gorgeous venue, and there's a lot to see and do there. What's the track like being down there on the actual floor? Is it pounded out? Is it tramped in like a horse venue kind of seems to be, or is it something else?
No, the last 3 or 4 years it's got better, and they built the track, and they got the guy that runs the place. He's the one that builds the track along with Eddie carrying them, and Eddie's got a lot to do with it. Eddie can build a heck of a track now, and I'm telling you, the last couple of years it's hooked pretty good. I mean, it's hooked really good. You can get a good bite on it if you set your tractor up right.
And Tim, take notes, because these questions are coming your way next. He smiles. He's hearing this.
I hear you.
Tim's been there before. It's a good track, ain't it, Tim?
It is, yeah.
Steve, what's like for fans that maybe have never been to Lexington before, or they've been there? How many days is it? Or do you know like the start times and any of the real like admission prices or anything like that? Or we can send them to the Facebook page, or let's kind of do that promoter hat a little bit.
All right. It's a 6th, 7th, and 8th. It's a Thursday night, Friday night. Then they have a Saturday afternoon session, and then they have The final was Saturday night. Now, Thursday night, I don't know how many they take, but they have the Super Mod 2, Super Mod 4s, light limited super stocks, 10,000 hot farms, and I'm leaving one out. I may not be, but anyway, those classes pull Thursday night and Friday night, I know, and I'm sure I'm missing one. I don't really know, but I think to get in is $25 per session, except for the finals, and don't hold me to this, but I think it's 35 on Saturday night finals. And the start time is at 7 p.m.
I had a quick perusal through the entry list, at least for your class, Steve, and it looks like it's kind of more alcohol biased, but I don't think that's out of line with what TNT and the Kentucky group puts on. You will find mostly alcohol tractors. Is that kind of your experience?
Yeah, there's several diesels starting to get into it now, and of course Travis Gordon's a tough competitor, and you got Kentucky Slave Hunter, Brent and Ethan Moore. They switched to diesel. Dylan Dittweiler built a diesel. You got Richard Taylor with a diesel. I think Chris Newsom is in there with a diesel. You know, there's several diesel tractors in there. And Lindsey Moore, of course, you can't forget him. He's tough. I mean, that I don't care if you're on diesel or alcohol. They're all tough in this class. I mean, you know, it's a tough class.
Something that's a little bit of curiosity to me, and I like getting any of you guys, light limited super guys, to talk about this, and that's the regional concern with tires. And here in the northern states, Wisconsin, Michigan, western New York, it seems like the 24.5 seemed to work, but we all run also a lot heavier than you guys do. We run 62 or 6,500. You guys down there at 6,000, you guys find a way to make the 30.5s float, and you make them work. What, you know, maybe you don't want to give away the farm, but what have you found? Why does it work down there?
I don't know if it's the dirt or what it is. I really don't know. I've not really got to go up north and run a lot, you know, like in Ohio or Pennsylvania or New York or nowhere like that, but it seemed like the 30.5s, there's been some guys trying 24.5s. They're a heavier tar, the 24.5s are. It seemed like the 30.5s, you can make weight better, but it just seemed like they hook up better down here for some reason or another. Now, I have seen some tracks we're on that a 24.5 will look better than a 30.5, but it seems like they're few and far between down here, you know, and it's, like you said, a lot to do with the weight difference, too.
Fair enough. And I know there's guys up here who traveled down there and tried to do the reverse, and there aren't as many, I don't think. There's not as many guys from up here who've gone down there to mix it up with you guys. So, you know, it's part of it, but yeah, it's fascinating to me to see how that plays out for you guys.
Yeah, I've never tried a set of 24.5s, and the simple reason because of the weight. I have tried some HP tires, you know, the pole puller tires. They're just too heavy. You can't make it at 6,000 with them. Most everybody down here knows a 10-ply old style puller, you know, 30.5s with a light rim, you know, I use an older Dressel rim or a lighter weight Midwest or, you know, some kind of rim like that, something that's lighter to help make the weight at 6,000. And it's still hard to make it at 6,000. Like I said, you know, a lot of times I don't want to drop the drawbar, but I do. But, you know, sometimes I don't, and it bites me.
And that's an interesting point too. Like, you know, even at 6,200, it's tough to make, like, say, a 30.5 Puller 2000 with the weight because they're heavier tire. And so maybe the difference is, you know, the 24.5 being able to be on the Puller 2000 carcass, maybe the shape makes up for it versus the old style 30.5s. I don't know. But, you know, it's just interesting to see where guys choose to go with that.
Yeah, a lot of it's poor preference, you know. I've never really tried a 24.5. You know, I've always thought about it, but what's working is working, and we'll leave it alone, you know.
Yeah, don't disagree with that. If it's working, just leave it alone.
Yeah. But, there's like I said, a major trip down to Ocala last year. Had a big time, except for Saturday night. Got home, started checking stuff out, found a lot of metal and oil filter, burned a piston down there. Took me quite a while to get some pistons in. Missed the first 6 hooks of the season with Mid-South PPL and still wound up, I think, 6th in the points. So, it wasn't bad. Got lucky.
Any questions any of you guys got for Steve? Drop them in the comments. Let's get him in here.
I'm trying to show some pictures and stuff from the Facebook page while we're talking. And
Yeah,
Tim,
no,
we can
you're
get, we can get Tim on at any time as too. He's ready to go. I got some pictures queued up of his beautiful thin blue line. Steve, with the light limited super stock tractors, that's probably one of the most popular classes in the South. Is that safe to say?
Yeah, that or like Dr. Messer's in the 2-wheel drive class. It's either that or the 2-wheel drive class or the other. I think it's the most 2 popular classes down here. There's a lot of good tractors in Tennessee and Kentucky and Indiana and Ohio and Wisconsin, and they're all over, man. This guy hit me up tonight. Won't know if I knew where a tractor was at for sale. I said, well, any of them for sale for the right price, if you want one.
Yeah,
Depends on what you're looking for. But,
yeah.
My friend Bob Arby working on Tim Messer truck. We didn't run this season because hauler issues. I'm going to run it. Turned over to Tim. I'll let him pick it up from there. Tim, who is that?
I'm not sure.
They're not registered. They didn't register, so we don't know who they are. So I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. It might have been Jamie Qualls, maybe. I don't know that.
Yeah, that looks like his English. And I love my Jamie, but that looks like his English.
Him or William Wilkinson, one of the two.
Yep. My dad used to say everything has a price. That's for sure. Steve, how old were you when you first started pulling? Or how many years? How did you get started? Steve Dye.
Well, I've been around it all my life. My dad started taking us when we were little bitty, and we kind of fell in love with it then. And I don't know, I guess 12, 14 years ago, we got into garden tractor pulling, kind of like behind you there. Of course, we had the red ones instead of the green ones, but kind of what we got now. But it's been in my blood forever. And then a friend of mine, Lewis Connor, had a Farmageddon, and I went down and used to help him work on it some, and trying to learn, this, that, and the other about it, and working on a light limited super stock. And we went to Lafayette, Tennessee one night. He said, "You go with me, you can drive tonight." And that's all it took. Since then, I come home and I told my wife, I said, I'm going to start looking for a tractor. I found the rolling chassis up in Baraboo, Wisconsin, and come up there and got it. Brought it home. Took me 5 years to get it completely put together. Took a lot of shortcuts I wished I never took, and done a lot of stupid things. But here lately, I've been lucky. Got some good parts and stuff in it. Still got a lot of stock parts in it, but you don't have to break the bank to build one of these light limited supers. They're expensive, but they're not. It's kind of a beginner's class. It's what it's supposed to be, and it's called light limited for a reason. That's why I got the name light limited. Years ago, and I like I said, I've still got a lot of stock parts in mine. If I told you what all I had in it stock, you wouldn't believe me. I'd have to show you. But there is a lot of stock parts still in my motor, and it's an original DT360 Alpha school bus.
Steve, before we let you go, I'm going to hit you with the classic question that Ryan Rusick pioneered on the show, and that is, if you can take the keys to any pulling vehicle of any era, what would you take the keys to? Where would you take the keys to? And the only places you can't do it is Farm Show, Bowling Green, or Toma.
Past or present. Past or present. Any vehicle.
Yeah, any era.
I I'm going to say this because it's my cousin and I've always loved the tractor. I would go steal my cousin Tim Kane's Red Gambler and I would take it to Brandenburg, Kentucky.
I like it.
I hope you heard that, Tim.
I don't know if he's watching tonight. I haven't seen their names pop up in the comments, but they have watched before. So.
Oh yeah, Tim and Chris are, they're my kinfolk. They'll say cousins. I say kinfolk in Kentucky, but they're in Indiana. They say cousins. So that's what I would steal to the keys to the Red Gambler, and I'd take it to Brandenburg, Kentucky, and take me a ride through the tunnel and up the track over there. I always loved Brandenburg. It's for a county, it's a Class 1 facility. I mean, for a county fair, they put on one of the best shows in the state. And, if you want to see a good show, come on out to Lexington Horse Park up there at Alltech Arena, 6th, 7th, and 8th. TNT's going to put on a good show up there this year.
Awesome.
Steve, thanks for coming on tonight. We really appreciate you doing this, promoting the sport. It takes an army of us to do that. So thank you very much, and good luck next weekend, sir. Appreciate
it. Anytime, guys. Enjoyed being here. Everybody have a happy new year, and don't drink too much.
Perfect. Thanks,
Thank you,
Steve.
I'll check in with you guys.
Thanks, guys.
We'll be in touch on how it goes.
That's fine.
Thank you, brother.
I didn't mean to kick him off that fast. Sorry, Charles.
No, you're all good.
Look at this guy.
Look at
Who's
this
guy?
This
Tim Messer guy. Tim, obviously we know who you are because we follow you very, very well. But for those casual fans that watch the show and don't know the Thin Blue Line pulling truck or Tim Messer, can you just kind of give us your 1-minute introduction of who you are, where you live? You know what to do. Take over. And I'm going to put some pictures of the truck up while you're talking, if you don't mind.
All right. Yeah. My name's Tim Messer, and I'm originally from Walton, Kentucky, where I was born and raised. I spent 8 years in Louisville, where I went to the University of Louisville undergrad and then to dental school there. So I'm a dentist by trade, and I have relocated to Memphis, Tennessee. And I have a practice down here, and I have a wonderful family. And I am my pulling team is we collaborate with Bob Barbie and Bobby, and our shop together is up in his hometown of Springfield, Tennessee. So I'm on the road a lot between here and Nashville, and prior to that, I was on the road a lot between here and Northern Kentucky, where I paired with the Sullivan family when I first started my career.
That's a good pairing. Tim, do you guys have a Facebook page for the actual team, or is all the stuff on your personal page?
Yeah, it's on, I think on the Facebook, it's M3 Pulling Team.
That's right. I couldn't remember. Got it.
With your professional life and what you've come to experience, and what is your upbringing? Like, how did you come to pulling, but then also be what you are in your professional life? That's something like that's fascinating to me about you, that you seem like sort of an unlikely character in the sport.
So that goes back to my father dabbled in the sport with a modified tractor. I think it was just like a stock 460 Ford, but they ran the 24/5 tires. And I think Wayne Sullivan actually built his first chassis. And this was early to mid 70s. And I was born in 75 and my brother in 76. And I think that's about the time that Dad got out of the sport. And so growing up, we were just baseball, basketball players. We weren't raised on a farm. We really had no introduction to trucking, motorsports, anything. But we were fans, and Dad would take us to whether it was the Riverfront Coliseum or the local county fairs. We went to as much as we could, and basically I grew up as a fan with the love and passion of somebody that may have been involved in the sport. And for me, a lot of people have lots of dreams. Mine was always to be I just wanted to be a truck and tractor puller, modified at first, and then as I got older, it really turned to the 2-wheel drive trucks. And um, I became a dentist for many reasons, but one of them was the sure fact that I thought it would be a way that I could have a more than average income and be able to afford to participate in a sport like this someday. That was the only way I was ever going to have a chance to do that, because I've been in the sport over 10 years now, and I'm still not a mechanic, never will be, not a fabricator, don't know a whole lot about motors or anything. I think I can drive pretty well, and I've got an understanding of everything, but I completely rely on others for that. But I've been able to foot the bill to get my foot in the door, and I've been able to stay in it by, I think, picking and choosing the right people and being lucky enough to be accepted by them to kind of teach me what I need to know. And that's enabled us to be able to continue on. And that doesn't just go for me. That's my brother too, my dad. That's just, we're always learning. I don't think I'll ever know what the other guys know, and that's all right. We're having fun, and we've been decently good at times. So, that's kind of what my background was.
I appreciate that so much about you, because, that's not the background I come from either. My father was a research scientist, and I grew up, kind of on the academic path, but just had this passion for the sport. And I chose the announcer track, and I'm totally good with that. I'm happy with what my place in the sport is, not on the competitor side. But I really appreciate that about you and your team and what you guys have managed to do. That's awesome.
Thanks.
Hey Tim, what does the M3 stand for? Like three messers, or what is? Where'd you get that name?
Yeah, one of the things I had to do when I started gathering equipment like the hauler and just different things was, from a legal liability, I needed to do something with them. And so, I formed a corporation, and, on the spot, they wanted me to give it a name, and I really didn't put a lot of thought into it. I just thought of my dad and brother and I as three messers. So it just came up with M3 Pulling, and I'm okay with that. I kind of like it.
Oh, I love it. I just like to tell the story behind it a lot, because I do some announcing as well, like Charles, and it's nice to tell some stories behind the scenes, because what we typically have 3 to 5 minutes to pull, to fill in between hooks. That's always good. That's a good story. So we're always going to let people now know for the rest of our life, whenever you go to the track, that's how that all got started. So it's all good.
Gotcha.
The Thin Blue Line, that truck, the name for that you had that name on a truck really before that as a cultural thing resonated. Where did that come from?
Yeah, it just came from, my brother being in his profession as a police officer, and just learning about it and learning the traditions they have, and the Thin Blue Line represents a fallen officer, and I knew I wanted to build another truck, and I wanted something that would just dazzle a child, more or less. And it just like, for me, when we'd go to the Riverfront Coliseum, I would get to see the TNT fire truck and the Mother Jugs and Speed ambulance. And that was just a catcher. And I think that the entire sport depends on just the youth having enthusiasm for the sport. And so I wanted to do what I could. And generically, I just didn't want to call it a police truck. And the more I thought about it, the more I thought the Thin Blue Line, and for it to actually be a police truck, because I knew I was going to put the lights on it and dress it up. And but I wanted it to represent something and stand for something at the same time. And I think we accomplished that. It's been, like you said, we had that out before the country went to, just went to pieces. And, timing was everything on that. And I think it's a popular truck because of that, and because kids like it, ladies like it, whatever. But it just worked out, and I'm just glad that we did that, and everybody that had a hand in it has just made it a showpiece. And I mean, and when we're not pulling, believe me, I've had that at many car shows, and it catches attention. And I haven't brought home any trophies, but 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 there's always people there to see it, and they want us to start it up and everything, and then they see on the side we also have the National Officers Fallen Memorial emblem on there. And we, in the past, when we've been on the full circuit, and we've asked for donations, and we've made donations to that memorial fund. And it's just good to be a part of something, represent something. And when I can take that to a car show and take it and get a gathering of people to see it that know nothing about our sport, then I'm being an ambassador for our sport at the same time. And I think that's something we all could do more of. But it just works great all the way around.
You're not just an ambassador. Everything you just said, this guy right here is a pulling historian, because he's mentioning Mike Witt's fire truck puller and the Mother Jugs and Speed ambulance puller. It's somebody who isn't just a Johnny come lately. He understands where this comes from, and I'm so happy to hear you make those references and have that cultural touchstone. I mean, you're a true believer, man. That's awesome.
Thanks. Well, I mean, you got to give credit where credit's due, and there are so many good ambassadors for the sport. When I was growing up, and one of the luckiest things I think is that I got into this sport that was always a dream of mine by the heroes of mine, which was the Sullivan family, and I always thought that Kentuckian tractor. It did the same thing. It just caught people's attention and made them fall in love with the sport. And by the way, I heard you asking them earlier about, if you could drive a vehicle or whatever. I can tell you, mine would be to hop in Wayne Sullivan's Kentuckian with the 2 engines. The tractor where he could drop the 3rd in there, but take the 3rd out, leave the 2 in the front, and put me in the Houston Astrodome. And I would love to take that down the track.
Houston Astrodome. The Houston Astrodome. That's awesome.
That's a unique answer for that, and that's cool as hell.
Yeah, I would love to have seen the crowd back in the day and made a pass on a vehicle like that. I remember watching it on TV there. So, that's the effect it had on me. And, anything we can do these days to have those kinds of effects on someone else, we may keep this sport growing.
Tim, what are some of your early pulling memories?
I think my first pulling memory was the first trip down the track in competition. Was that one stands out to me because it was unique. We were in the original driller truck, and it had an automatic motor in it. Transmission in it, which we took out later. But just doing that for the first time and making a decent pass, with the nerves raging and just seemed like, waiting a lifetime to do something like that. That's just a memory that, you can't replace. And, of course, the first win, first Louisville trip, so many good ones like that.
So original driller, would that have been Leo K's Corvette?
No, just the original driller for me is what I meant by that. But you're right. I guess that is the original driller 2-wheel drive truck of all time.
What's the difference?
Tim, what do you know about-
You've had that opportunity to do that, to run a 2-wheel drive with an automatic, and then the open drive line slipper clutch. What's the difference like to do something like that? What's the driver's seat feel of torque converter versus slipper clutch?
That was so long ago, and I just had I think a couple test passes and that one pass in competition. So it's hard for me really to describe that, but I'll tell you the biggest thing was just moving the truck around. I mean, when you're not engaging a throttle and making it go as you'd like. There, you're basically in forward or reverse and just hanging on and holding brakes. I mean, same as what the super mod 4-wheel drives do. And you see when they flip them in reverse, of course, the back ends will pop up in the air. Well, the two-wheeler's not going to do that, but and I don't know anyone else out there that's even doing that at this point in time. I know in the past there's been some. But no one had really been successful kind of in the more modern era, and it's a good idea and it might have worked. I don't know. You could ask Donnie and Danny about if they thought they could make it any better or whatever, but it was a good idea. And I think the drawback to that is input shafts and having the right parts to hold up. Seems like that was the problem we were having at that time. I don't know. Maybe things could be machined better. I think those were stock parts at that point. I don't know. And I might be saying all that wrong. Like I said earlier, I'm not a mechanic. And, that's been 10 plus years ago when I knew even less then than what I know now. So, but I don't know if I answered your question or not. But just the biggest difference I noticed was moving it around the pits.
Yeah. No, you're right on. I think that the in the pits feel is probably a thing. The durability has definitely been a thing, and nowadays, a lot of what we see in the drag racing side of things with billet input shafts and billet stators and stuff. There's the durability pieces now there on a torque converter, but can it be made to work in a pulling environment? I don't know that because no one's really tried. There's a drivability question I've got, and yeah, I don't know. It's gonna take some morons who are willing to risk a lot of money to try and see what the hell happens. And until someone does, I don't think we'll ever know.
Yeah, I agree. And I've been I feel a guinea pig for some things, and I don't want to do that anymore. and the other thing to that is, you have to be a person that you've got to be able to pull often. And my schedule is just basically limiting me to the Champions Tour at this point. And there's a time where I was, if there was a pull on a weekend, we were trying to make it because we were wanting to learn things like that. And I can't do that these days. And, there are those that obviously can. So, maybe someday we'll know that answer or the answers to many other things.
Tim, let's talk about the Kentucky Invitational a little bit. I'm assuming you've pulled this event in the past.
I have, yeah. This will probably be our 7th or 8th time there, I would say. I think this is maybe the 10th anniversary, if I'm right, or somewhere around there. And I think we've only once or twice, maybe.
How have you done there? Did you say you've won it a couple times?
We won. I think Brian won one evening, and then I won a Saturday night a couple of years ago. So yeah, we've had 2 wins there, and we've had several second place finishes.
So maybe for some spectators, maybe coming for the first time or haven't been there before, Tim, what would be some selling points, why they should come check it out?
Well, if you want to see a really good pulling, without, having to go too far, and it's a great centralized area. It's kind of like Louisville and the Farm Show. I mean, it's right in the dead center of the country or Midwest rather, if you're traveling very far, but especially if you're local. I mean, you've got some of the best in the country pulling right there in the time of year where everybody's in, and you've got basketball on TV or some reality show. Get out of the house and go see it and support it. I think you'd be surprised at the quality of everything there.
Brad wants to know, will you be back in Ocala this year, Tim?
We're not going to be able to make that trip this year. I tell you, if I could, I would. I'd been wanting to go there for several years, but I didn't want to go compete there and then go to the farm show the next weekend. That's just too risky and not enough time in case something were to happen. And last year it worked out great. And man, what a heck of a crowd! Both the afternoon on Saturday and Saturday night was just crazy busy. And Friday night crowd too. Not to leave that out, but that's a heck of a place, and that's something I think everybody ought to go and see at least once. As a puller in a two-wheel drive, brand new motor combination, I don't recommend to anyone else doing that until you figure out what you've got. Then you can go play it, because it's definitely a different track and by every sense that one can imagine. I've never been on another surface like that, and I'm not saying that in a negative way. It's just a tricky way for a two-wheeler, and there's plenty of guys down there that kick my butt because they know how to manage it, but I didn't do very well. We'll just put it that way.
It happens. It happens to the best of us, Tim. No worries about that. What night are you hooking? What's your qualifying night, your qualifying session at Lexington?
So Brian is hooking in the thin blue line on Thursday night, and I believe that each night starts at 7:00, I believe, the 6th, 7th, and 8th. I am on Friday night, and I believe Brian has got the first hook on Thursday night, and I'm not sure what hook number I've got. But that's what we are in the preliminaries.
Awesome. Well, unless Charles or Cody, do you have anything else left for Tim? We've taken up enough of Tim's time tonight.
No, he nailed it. Thank you, Tim, so much for your time tonight. That was awesome. Appreciate you so much.
Sure.
Tim,
anytime.
As a showpiece, your truck, the fact, I love that you said you wanted something that the kids remember. And the first time I saw your truck was up in Hillsboro, Wisconsin, and the lights, and it's just awesome. Thank you so much for doing that, to give something for the kids to remember. I absolutely love that. Thank you.
No, you don't have to thank me for that. That's my pleasure. I love it. I'm just glad people like it. And I hope it just brings people to the sport. That was the whole purpose. So anyway, thank you guys for what you do and for what you're doing to the sport also.
Thanks, Tim. I hope hopefully you get enough fan votes so you can bring that beautiful trucks up to Nashville, Illinois, the 13th to 14th of May. So
I'd love to be there. I'd love it.
We'd love to have you. Tim, thank you. Cody, Charles, anything else for Tim?
I'm good. Thank you, Tim, so much.
Thanks, Tim. Have a great night, buddy.
Thank you. All right, you too.
Tucker, can you hear me? Tucker, can you hear me? Clint.
Yeah, I can hear you.
Hey, buddy, how are you?
Good.
Good. Well, tonight we talked to Steve Dye and Tim Messer about Lexington, Kentucky. That's next weekend, and then the following weekend is the Midwest Winter Nationals. So.
Yeah, don't remind me.
Well, give us some updates. What do we want? What do we need people to know?
Well, we had Justin Stuckensnyder build that toy, Thurman Munford's tractor, and he got that done, and Ryan got that posted.
What did I do? What was that?
Sorry about that.
Oh.
Ryan got that posted, and we got tickets for sale online. We sold a boatload of those tickets already.
Good.
And we will probably hopefully get those in our hands, and we'll start mailing them out to the people who bought them already, hopefully by the end of the week. I think we've sold probably more in the past than this deal, but it's been a long time ago, and I was very overwhelmed with the amount of pre-sale tickets from Thurman's tractor we've already sold. It's pretty amazing.
That's awesome. I've been seeing a lot of the messages come through the Facebook page, so it looks amazing what's all going on. Any surprises on class entries or anything like that, Clint, so far that you've had?
No, I mean, the classes are really, really good. Really thank everybody that showed up. We're a little disappointed in our light limited numbers. Don't know how to motivate that that group of guys, we're really going to really sit down and think about that, the whole situation after after January. I just don't think the competitive edge is there to keep them at the level we've had them in the past. We're going to do something else, go another direction. But if the building would let us run a little more alcohol fumes in there, and they keep saying they're going to put ventilation in here, we'll see. Because Lord knows I got a lot of buddies with 2-wheel drive, 4-wheel drive trucks and big alcohol supers. So
yes, you do.
We can fill that void. That's not a problem.
And I remember them trying to go down the track and ran tool, and I remember my eyes burning for 3 weeks. So
I hope you limited super stock guys are listening to this.
The big supers in Gordyville that one year, I don't know what happened. There was something in the water because we had them all, and we were blowing stuff out of the ceiling, and we had to get moose on a forklift and pick an extension cord that I think one of the Cheez-It tractors blew out of the ceiling. It was wild, but it was Saturday night, and I think everybody was so on their way that nobody cared.
No, lights were swinging and everything else.
It was wild, yeah. But yeah, I mean, with the amount of good quality light supers there are in the United States, that's going to be hard if the building will allow us to have them. And those guys want to come play with us. It's going to be hard to ignore 25 tractors that want to come run. But the mini rods are good. Everything's really good. I mean, of course we're getting a cancellation or two every day, which is aggravating because of the guys, can't get their parts, and it's not their fault. They're trying, but that's just part of the game. When we've been in it for 18 years, but we're still going to have enough tractors to go down the track. Everybody will be annoyed.
No issues on that at all.
Extended weather forecast looks good, and it doesn't look like it's going to be too cold, and of course I'm trying to buy snow insurance so it won't snow a flake, so that I protect that every year. But yeah, I think we're slowly but surely getting equipment ready, working on the warm-up box now, and it's got some issues. It's got a million tractors run over it, and then its life, and it's having to work on that, and hopefully we'll have that ready to go and loaded this week. But all kinds of things. Brian Lively got the program about done. Today I sit down at the office and made myself draw all the numbers through the computer program we wrote up, and they look pretty good. I don't think anybody's going to throw a fit about it. Zolik should have them put up on the website soon. I emailed them back to him today. But tickets are for sale. We can start selling a lot of tickets every day, and then looks like we're going to have several pretty good tractors and pretty good crowd. What it sounds, because everybody keeps calling me wanting to know if I got any extra hotel rooms, and I don't. Go to Goshen, they got plenty.
Sounds good, man.
But main thing is that we're doing now is we're still seeking trophy sponsors. We're trying to find some sponsors to pick up to put their name on the diesel truck trophies, and I think I got a couple, maybe like one of the Pro Farm classes I still got to sell, but had really good response from that. Heritage Iron Magazine, Oliver Heritage Magazine. I sold one to Simpico tonight. I mean, just on and on and on. We got good supporters.
How you doing on box seat sales?
We got most of the box seats sold. I mean, I've had a ton of people ask me about them, and they think we have ones down to end zone, and we don't. The ones we have left are from about 80 foot back towards the sled on both sides of the track. They come with 8 all weekend, all access passes. So it's $5 more a ticket to go ahead and get 7 buddies and buy a box seat and have someplace to throw your coat or your whatever you want to throw down there, and it's still be able to meander around. And then your box seat ticket is a pit pass, so you can go back and forth in the pits as much as you want. They're $1,440, which everybody gets sticker shock, but you go to multiplying $25 at the gate times 8, you're just $5 a head short. So, and that box is yours, from this year on. So if there's any cancellations down the road, you move on down the track towards the finish line. So we have several of those left, especially on the non-smoke tube side.
And that's a we're 320-foot track, so there's a lot there's a lot of real estate there.
Oh yeah, I mean, and some people like to sit starting line. I mean, I'm not one of those guys, but some people like to sit on there. But we have a lot of those available.
Remind people what the food is.
How's the vendor row looking?
It's about the same as last year. About all of them that was there last year, other than Chaos, is not there this year. Of course, they're trying to get that tractor done at Phillips for the farm show, which I fully understand. I think Stinson's bringing a tractor this year because he wants to put it beside Jason's T-shirt stand. That's good, and I think the rest of them pretty much the same as we've had in the past. Lots of tires, lots of new tire guys. So I think it'll be plenty of stuff to look at.
If you've got a vacancy on vendor row, how do they get a hold of you?
They can go on the website and just look under sponsorship vendor information. They can print that sheet right off and send it in, and then all their stuff will be waiting for them when they get there.
Sounds good. What else do people need to know about what's going on for Midwest Winter Nationals?
Oh, a lot of people want to know. Been asking what our class orders and stuff are, and I told them, I said we determine that the day of the show.
Yep.
Start times are 11 and 6 about every day. Everybody keeps asking me how cold it is in the building. It's not cold at all.
No.
People keep asking me how they think the show will go. I keep telling them hopefully we're done by midnight every night. We try not to go very late, but we got a lot of vehicles. We got a lot of tractors.
If somebody wants a media pass, is there anything they got to do?
We are limited media passes because it gets to be pretty monotonous. Anybody who thinks they need to take pictures in there needs to contact Jesse Post or Big Ryan. They're the two guys that's kind of in charge of the picture taking. Otherwise, you get 15 or 20 guys in there that are standing in or getting in people's box seats with unannounced and unwelcomed, and it starts to become a monotonous problem. So we got 3 pretty good photographers. We're not looking for very many more. More welcome to come in, buy a ticket, buy a pit pass, sit in the stands, take as many pictures as you want. But as far as along the track, I think we're good. We got our 3 or 4 professionals. Fair
enough. Sounds good, man.
But other than that, I mean, I think we're good to go. I mean, I think it's going to be here before we're ready.
But yeah, way before I'm ready. I've been studying the entry list, trying to get schooled up, and oh man, yeah, I know your sentiment there. I'm good with that.
But yeah, I mean, when we get messages to the page every day, about hotels, best thing is just Google it. The temperature in the building's warm. Yes, they have beer, and last year they had good food. So I don't think they'll starve or get there to be thirsty.
When is it pretzels? Is that the food choice, right? If I heard that right?
Yeah, they have the ladies make the homemade pretzels, and then they have a little bit of everything in that one concession area. We got to eat their pork chops or pork loins. They were pretty good. But yeah, they know what they're doing up there.
I think we had a 5-minute discussion about just the pretzels themselves last time, Charlie.
Yes, we did.
But
yeah, a lot of people were taking them home with them last year on Saturday night.
I know people have taken like pretzels home and like froze them so they could eat them later. So that wouldn't be a bad idea.
Yep.
And popcorn, I think popcorn. Wasn't there a popcorn guy too?
Yeah, Russ.
Yep.
Russ had his popcorn out there too. I assume that they probably still get their popcorn from Rusty's right down the street.
Yep.
But I think Travis said they're about done with their horse shows. They'll start moving some dirt in. I would say probably later next week. Then we'll be there the Monday starting the Monday of the week of the show. We'll be there. We'll get the track put in, get the pit area figured out, and be ready to start getting tractors in there in the building as quick as we can. Because it'll be 50 degrees until we're ready to roll. Then it'll be the coldest week of the year so far.
Yeah, it was cold as shit last year. Like
it was great on Wednesday. It just tapered throughout the week.
I mean, I don't know how I was going to start even the truck out in the parking lot, and yeah, it was brutal.
I'm back.
Jason's back.
The Texas internet guys, it just came and got me. So that's all
I don't care. I don't care. Just as long as we get to start up one of them tractors.
We're gonna. Tucker, it's 80 degrees in Texas. What's it like in Effingham, buddy?
About 40, 45 here today. Wasn't bad.
Okay.
It's unusually warm. We're going to pay for it drastically. Hopefully it's in February, not January.
Yep. You know Tucker, Steve? No. Steve, where are you from again? In Illinois? Where's Galesburg, Illinois at, Tucker?
Galesburg's just south of the Quad Cities on 74.
Okay, so I'm in Steve. I know you can't see me, but I'm in Steve Hovine's shop down in Texas. I got to know him. He has a diesel garden tractor puller and a couple other ones, and we're down here visiting some friends. So I called him this morning. I'm like, hey, how close are you to Grapevine, Texas? And he said, about 40 miles. And I said, cool, I'm coming over tonight. And he's making me wear a Mean Green pulling shirt. And there's a whole bunch of John Deere stuff in the background, Tucker. So
I see that.
It's awesome.
But he's got Bird Dog Peach Whiskey, and you guys.
I figured there'd be like a Mean Green sticker going on the Remedy.
You think so?
Yeah.
We can make that happen.
Yeah, we got that.
We can make that happen.
So I imagine Tucker knows Vogel Manufacturing.
You can ask him. He can hear you.
Do you know Vogel, Kevin Vogel?
Yeah, I live about 10 minutes from their shop.
So that's who built my my motor and one of my tractors back here. And of course I get a lot of parts from them, from Chuck and Kevin.
Yeah. I used to buy camshafts off Chuck from a Super Farm tractors.
Yep. They do a lot of cams out of there.
Yeah, Vogel Cam, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, still they do a lot of stuff.
Yep.
They're in the same industrial park where Kirk Eckner has the big Pro Farm tractor. His shop's real close to theirs.
That big 60-30 John Deere?
Yeah.
Yep. One of the Womp Womps.
Yep.
Clint, earlier Steve Dye mentioned that, events like yours, the Midwest Winter Nationals and the Lexington, that's his Louisville. And that has always been, besides the fact I like you and I like what you do for the sport, that has been my number one draw to the Midwest Winter Nationals. It's your Louisville if you're a hot farm guy or a pro farm guy or a gal or, some of the classes that don't get that big nod, if you will. And I know that you can't have every class at every poll. We both know that as a promoter, but that has been the one thing where I've loved how you have taken, you and your team have basically taken 3 or 4 different classes, different associations, and merge them together. It's hell to announce for it, Tucker, because we have no idea that this guy weighs 8,300 and his turbo is this, but how you do it and to get everybody to work together over the years, Clint, it's been absolutely amazing. What
a challenge. I'm going to study the shit out of the rule book.
Nobody's listening, Charles. Nobody's listening anyway. Don't worry.
Yeah, I don't care. It's about me, not about them.
Well, we have a lot of help when we write the rules up. We ask a lot of guys off the dynos, Brian Scott, Kevin Ingham King, Harts. Those guys are the ones that will guide you down the right path. Tells you what kind of foot-pounds of torque and horsepower the guys got. And you got to keep updating to that because they go faster every year. But hopefully we get it right more than we get it wrong.
They did. So Travis has been texting me wanting to know, what kind of beer everybody wants. I think I got him squared away on that. They have to put their beer order in by January 3rd, Clint. And then you did say something about the ventilation. There was never any issues at all last year with ventilation. That building, you guys, if you haven't not been to the Shipshewana, the Mech Center, it's amazing. And the pullers loved it. The room, Everything was great about that entire venue. But if you ever could get some big supers in there, Alki supers or two wheelers, Tucker, that would be amazing, buddy.
Well, I think they're going to put some of the, I call them peak fans on either end. They were going to do that. I don't know if they got that done yet or not, but I know I looked at their schedule for March, and I think they're going to have NTEPA's like supers in there. And if they get those guys in there, they're going to need a little bit of, a lot of times all you need is fans that's pulling fresh air in, and those fumes will go out to the other end. If you have one end pulling and the other one pushing, they did that there at Eaton when those guys got to do that pull in that building, and they kept that air in there perfect.
Yeah.
But if they get the peak fans put in, we'll definitely entertain a little meaner alcohol stuff. You can't run 100 of them, but you can probably have little classes of 12 or 15 of them, but you could do it on purpose instead of, trying to, or light limiteds, we have to scatter the alcohol tractors out throughout the class. And this year was only like 6 or 8 of them in each class. So it shouldn't be that bad. And the mini rods, they don't hurt nothing. The little blown ones, they didn't get that bad at all last year.
The chop. Let's do it.
Yeah. But,
well, do we have anything else for Clint tonight, Charles or Cody?
I'm good, unless he's got something for me, but we can maybe take that offline. So
Tucker, plan on next Monday as well, and the Monday before. If you want me to get anybody else from the team, just let us know, please.
Yeah.
So,
well, like I said, just the tickets for the raffle, the tour we're raffling off online for sale, and hopefully the print shop took a little more time off for the holidays than I thought. I thought I'd have them in hand today. It's going to be probably Friday. So
for the tickets,
yeah. And I'll fill those out and I'll send you the stub. It's got the number on it, and then we'll hopefully draw your number out there in January.
Awesome. Thanks, Clint. Have a good night,
All right,
buddy.
buddy. You guys, thank you.
Thank you, Clint.
Take care.
Midwest Winter Nationals, January 13th, 14th, and 15th, guys. It's going to be awesome. And if you can get to Lexington as well, but that arena, I mean, I can speak for that arena at Shipshewana. It's Charles can too. I know Cody, I don't know if he got out there last year, but it's for an indoor facility. I don't know if he could find much better place. So I haven't been everywhere, but that's a damn good one, guys.
It's been occupying my dreams for weeks, and I can't wait for this. This is going to be epic.
The hard part for me is I'm calving right in the middle of that. So
we get it.
I would love to go, and Rye's trying to get me to go still, and I was like, I can't.
Yes, you can. Do it.
I'm already gone a week afterwards. So for being
that week doesn't matter. It's only the week that we're here. Come on, let's make this happen.
All right, guys. Charles, Cody, you ready to start the tractor?
Do it. Yeah, okay, let's go.
So I'm in Princeton, Texas, at Steve Hoven's place. He's got this is the Alter Ego tractor.
He went to the pro stock. Larry, I'm already in.
I was gonna say we don't want to see you, Jason. We want to see that.
Yeah, no, I get this.
No, actually, you know what? You're in a closed structure. Go to the other one. That's the 3-cylinder diesel.
Oh, that's not running right now, Charles.
Oh shoot.
Hold on, let me get the camera right here. Oops, sorry. Ready?
Yeah, do it.
Fuel works, Charles, he said.
Yeah.
Just run with
Goose it before you lose it.
Steve, are the neighbors going to call now? Or
No, they're used to
they're used to this?
Yeah. Yeah. It's got a little bit kind of a wicked cam in it, so it doesn't idle real smooth until you get it up to. But it's a 5,000 RPM tractor. Originated a 14 horse Kohler, and it's putting a little over 30 horse. Not real crazy modifications. Like I say, it's a hot stock tractor is what we call it.
Okay.
So they're getting, I mean, these blocks, the bigger blocks, 16 horse blocks, they're getting 80, 90 horsepower out of these things.
That's awesome.
So
Yeah. So is that fire bottle actually a fire bottle or a nitrous bottle?
no, it is a fire bottle. We our rules
Bullshit.
require us to have 1.5 pounds on it. Those are Vogel wheels there. We were just talking about Vogels up there. Those are all their stuff.
Guys, this thing is super sharp. Like, super sharp.
These things run billet rear ends. They're basically Dodge 7 1/4 rear ends is what's in them.
Is it a Cub based chassis with a
No,
John Deere?
we do all custom chassis. Everything's cut. The only Cub parts on this thing is the rear end case. That's the only Cub part in this tractor.
Okay.
And then the diesel is all.
Did you say it was 8 1/4 or is it something smaller?
Cub on that.
What'd you say, Charles? Sorry, bud.
Yeah, no. If being Cub based, is it 8 1/4 rear end or something smaller?
So the Cub case, with a little bit of grinding and modifications, you can take the Cub rear end out and put a Dodge 7 1/4, like a Dart rear end. And of course, there's several manufacturers out there that build billet rear ends now. And they,
Nice.
I mean, the sky's the limit with them. You can buy everything, ring and pinions, the gear sets, everything. We've got, anything. Just everything's available for them.
It's amazing.
Nice. They're beautiful tractors, and you guys done a great job. I love what you've done.
Thank you. And the diesels, we run planetaries on those. Those got planetary rear ends in them. Again, all custom built stuff.
What are you running for on the diesels? What are you running for the engines? Is it Volkswagen based or?
No, these are all 3-cylinder. Our rules require you have to run a garden tractor rear end. So that's where we get the Cub case, the rear end case. And then everything else is custom inside. We run 4-speed rear ends. The motor is, I run Yanmar in my Pro Stock tractors. They're 3-cylinder Yanmars. They're 75 cubic inch. And again, the sky's the limit. Everything that you guys do with the big tractors, we do with the small tractors. We've got the Bosch pumps on them, modified pumps from Fair Valley, does my pumps. Again, how much you want to spend?
Single charger or you guys compound?
No, just single. Rules require only allow us to do single charger.
Okay. No, it's awesome. I love it. It's what the sport's about, and you guys have found a spot. And it's tremendous. I love that.
So we do in the diesels. We have a limited Pro Stock, which is a 70 cubic inch. You have to run a box pump. There's quite a few limitations with that, and then we run Pro Stock. I've got 2 Pro Stock tractors that run 75 cubic inch, and you can run a external pump, which is where we use the Bosch pumps, and 2 to 3 times the horsepower.
You just kind of stole my question, because I have never been around garden pulling tractors at all. Like they just don't have them out here. So I was curious of what are the classes and what some of the differentiators.
Check this pump out real quick. Look at that.
Pumps are about the size of the motor.
When I got here, guys, he had them sitting on the table where I have my computer sitting. We were going to show them off, so we put them off to the side right away. But man, it was super funny. So, sorry, Cody. Cody, what was your question?
So, I have no garden tractor pulling out here, so I'm curious of. You kind of stole a little bit of that, but like, what are the classes and what's some of the differentiating between some of those classes?
So the actual garden tractors, there's a lot more than diesel. Obviously, you have from stock, you have youth stock, you have hot stock, stock altered. They have Pro Stock, limited Pro Stock. I mean, there's a lot of classes I don't even know about that they run up north. Being down here from Texas, but again, you go from single cylinder to V twins. Up to the diesels. We run 4-cylinder mini rods down here. We run V8 mini rods. non-supercharged, non-turboed. So we go, like our club down here, we go from youth 14-horse stock tractors all the way up to V8 mini rods. We don't allow anything larger than a 2612 tire. And I think there's a 1,900-pound weight limit on the mini rod. So we have one sled that handles everything.
So will you guys travel as far as like the big tractor guys? I mean, for events, or are you guys, because you have clubs and stuff, or you stay pretty local on most of them?
So in Texas, we probably do about a couple 100-mile radius here in Texas. A local pole could be 3 hours away, 4 hours away. That's local for us. But I actually travel up north with the diesels. Pretty much I've got to come to Ohio, Kentucky, Tennessee. I got to go up that far to run with, a good amount of tractors. I'm really the only two pro stock diesels in Texas.
You guys are paying attention. That was a Cummins style bull in that piston.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Is it calico coated?
Yes.
Okay. It is calico coated.
You guys are paying attention.
Is this cool, Charles? This is awesome.
That's awesome.
Yeah. They're pretty pricey too, because you can, as you can imagine, they don't build a whole lot of them. 466 injectors, tips.
No shit. You guys are. That's what you're stabbing in there.
Yep, that's what we are.
I love it. That's awesome.
No, the table shakes. It's okay. I'm just gonna blame it on the John Deere hat I got on.
Yeah,
God's going. Oh.
So a random question, since I'm not used to that. So I know some of like the ATV and UTV racing, they're cryo heating parts to dissipate heat and add some more power. Are you seeing any of that in
yes.
Your...
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. My cams come from Vogel. We were just talking about Vogel cams, and that's who does our cams. Chuck does them. I think Kevin does them as well. The sky's the limit with every part. We do the same thing you guys do.
Well, and I think that's cool. And Ed he helps with the Outlaw Garden Tractor Series in Wisconsin and Illinois. It's the best way to get a kid into pulling. My son started on a stock garden tractor at age 4 and has been pulling ever since. And everybody we ever interview, Steve, they say they drove something once and they were hooked forever. Charles is hooked forever because of that. Cody just takes pictures and he's hooked with it. So he hangs out with us.
I started garden tractor pulling out of Galesburg at the Knox County Fairgrounds, and garden tractor pulled all around there as a kid. And that's where I got started. Got out of it forever when I moved away and grew up. But when I got down here, I saw a garden tractor sitting on the side of a barn, and I thought, we're going to get into it again. So, and it came from Indiana, actually. Our club did.
Lone Star Garden Tractor Pullers Association.
Yeah,
guys.
LSGTPA.
For those in Texas, is it pretty much North Texas? Or
yeah, we're pretty much North Texas. We've got a few members down south. One of our founding members is down there, College Station.
Okay.
But yeah, pretty much North Texas, Waco North, and we try to do a pull or two down south of there.
Nice.
I've never actually hooked an antique. I've never actually hooked a garden tractor.
Yeah.
I've hooked antiques, but all the way right through to mods, but I've never done a garden tractor.
Everything y'all do, just smaller scale. Our sled's about 8,000 pounds. We just changed the gears and the way the box, how quick the box goes forward from a 1,000-pound stock garden tractor to a 1,900-pound mini rod. The same sled does it all. We just changed the gear ratio on it, and we got Grouser bars that drop for the V8s and the 4-cylinders. Same kind of deal.
It's badass, man. You guys do it. It's awesome. You guys do it on the same level.
Yeah. And it's bigger up north, honestly. I'm a Yankee transplanted down here, and we do what we can here.
Well, I think, like we've talked about Charles and Cody in the past, sometimes it just needs to get introduced to somebody before it can really take off. And yes. Steve's committed to it, and more and more people will do it. So,
yeah, just introduce it to a new spot and believe in it, and you guys do, and yeah, it's cool. I love it.
Well, I'm gonna show the tractors off one more time, and then I'm gonna head back over to my friends, guys, if that's okay. Charles,
Yeah.
Yep.
Cody here, but here is the one that the Alter Ego tractor you started up earlier. Good looking piece. This thing's awesome. The tires on these tractors, awesome. Very, very cool. And then here's the 3-cylinder diesel one he was talking about. So we can't start this one up. It's not quite ready to do that. So what do you got there, Steve?
There's a girdle for the 3-cylinder diesels. Like I said, everything. We do all the same stuff.
No, that's cool.
Jeez.
That's epic, man.
But here's the diesel tractor. Kind of close look there. So, and then this is, I hate to show this, but to all the John Deere fans, that's a sticker he's got right there on there. That's pretty cool. So, but that's what it looks like, guys. So, got some nice stuff here in the shop. It's your classic pull-in shop, Charles. Full of parts. There's parts he doesn't want me to show because he says it's not clean enough and organized enough. So
it's all good, man. That's awesome. Love what you're doing down there.
Steve, thank you for your time tonight. We really appreciate you doing this. You know how I am, Charles. Hey, I'm in Texas. What are you doing tonight?
You're doing some cool ass shit. Is what you're doing.
We've got an A in the shop that's tore down. I got to move that out. I got to get 4-wheelers out.
He's been hustling today.
We got it. No problem.
He said I did motivate him a little bit.
Yeah.
No, you definitely motivated a lot of people because what you guys are doing is top of the shelf. It's awesome to see that. Love it.
Andrea Beckett says, been at it for 21 years. Couldn't imagine doing anything else. I don't think people realize how big it is nationally.
No.
All of Steve's tractors are top notch. So that's pretty cool. So, well, guys, Charles, Cody, you guys have anything else at all?
I think that's it for tonight.
I'm good, man.
I'm going to wrap it up here with Steve. The Pullers Championship, everybody. This is the last week for the invites. Then we're going to go to the fan votes. It's going to be pretty awesome. I think Brett Berg was announced today for the modified class. So we have all your national pullers coming to Nashville May 13th and 14th. It's going to be awesome. So I don't know. Charles, you good, buddy?
I'm good. I'm excited for next week when we do go to the fan vote because it's about you guys. It's about what all of you want to see at this event, and when push comes to shove, how much do we pay the guys? You're a part of that. You come. You decide. You pay your entry fee. And it all goes to the guys who are pulling. So, we're going to do this thing. And now we really go to where the heart of the sport is. And that's with all of you.
Very good. Again, thanks to Steve Dye, Tim Messer for coming on tonight, promoting Lexington, Kentucky Invitational, January 4th, 5th, and 6th. I think those are the dates. Yes.
Yes.
Okay. And then Shipshewana Midwest Winter Nationals. We had Clint Tucker on. Again, I'm hanging out in Steve Hoven's shop here in Princeton, Texas. So I'm going to wrap it up and head back into Dallas and have some fun with my friends. And Charles, thank you for coming on tonight. Cody, appreciate you guys. Have a great night.
Safe travels, bud. See you soon.
Thanks, bud. Later, guys.
All right.
loaded, what's it called?